I already made a review on the Motorola Edge 20, also make sure to watch that by the way if you haven't already. But just like last year, that phone also has a bigger brother, the Motorola Edge 20 Pro. But does that one do enough to justify its higher price tag? Because I've already reviewed the regular Moto Edge 20, I will mostly focus this video on the differences to that phone because the two are so similar. But I will also point out some of the things that I haven't mentioned in my other video. The design of the Edge 20 Pro is basically identical to the Edge 20. In fact, from the front they're exactly the same device. Apart from that, there are some subtle differences though. The Edge 20 Pro is a bit thicker and has a curved glass back instead of the plastic one on the regular version. Because of this glass back and being heavier, the phone does feel a bit more premium to go along with its higher price. The camera bump also isn't quite as big. The metal frame is glossy instead of matte, and the Google Assistant button is placed even higher than on the Edge 20, making it pretty much impossible to reach. With a similar design also come all of the downsides of the Edge 20 though. No stereo speakers, a mediocre vibration motor, and no water resistance. Oh, and because many people asked, there is dual SIM support but no microSD card slot, and also no headphone jack, obviously. The display is the exact same panel as on the Edge 20, so I won't spend much time here. What you need to know is that the 6.7-inch OLED panel is really colorful and bright, no problems there. The refresh rate of 144Hz is really nice to see as well, because it makes scrolling and navigating through the interface much smoother. The Edge 20 Pro has the higher-end Snapdragon 870 instead of the 778G found in the Edge 20. It also comes standard with 12GB of RAM and 256GB of storage, whereas the base model of the Edge 20 only comes with 8 and 128GB. But in day-to-day use, there's no noticeable difference between the two. They are both new devices and run stock Android, which isn't very heavy on resources. In a few years' time, the faster chip might make a difference, but for now I would say it isn't really a substantial upgrade. The one area where it does make a difference is in camera processing, which the Pro handles a bit faster. The quality of the viewfinder is just as poor though. The reasonably fast fingerprint sensor on the side is also here. The software on the Edge 20 Pro is obviously also the same as on other phones in the line, meaning you get stock Android 11 with 2 years of updates. It's Android-like on a Pixel, save for a small number of useful gestures and customizations through the Moto app. What the Pro does have that the regular version doesn't is support for Motorola's Ready 4 screen sharing via an included cable instead of just via Miracast. It allows you to connect your phone to a monitor or PC and get a desktop-like interface to share content on the big screen, basically just like Samsung DeX. You can also drag files back and forth between your phone and PC wirelessly. But while this is a cool feature to have, I don't think it's a real sales argument. The 108MP main and 16MP ultra-wide cameras are the same between this one and the Edge 20. They also take exactly the same pictures. That means good pictures in good light and rather poor quality in bad light. The night mode really isn't anything special. If you want more sample pictures, make sure to also take a look at my Edge 20 review. What is different is the zoom camera, which is a 5x periscope affair instead of the standard 3x on the regular version. But I think 5x is too close to be really useful in most circumstances. The quality is also pretty similar, so I wouldn't say the zoom is better here, but just different. If you take a lot of far away zoom pictures, this might be for you, but I actually prefer a 3x optical zoom. The phone has the same great selfie camera, but does gain some more video features over the Edge 20. It can record 8K and 4K at 60fps instead of just 30fps. Video quality is also noticeably better and less soft, but it's still not amazing. Battery life on the Pro is better than on the Edge 20, mostly because the thicker design allows for a good 10% bigger battery. That means that you can expect 6 to 7 hours of screen on time, which is actually really good compared to similarly priced options like a OnePlus 9, which don't last as long. It also charges at 30 watts with the included charger, which is fine but nothing special these days. There's no wireless charging either. I personally don't think the upgrade to the Edge 20 Pro over the regular Edge 20 is worth it. If you're interested in them, you should rather get the cheaper version. The only real differences are the faster chip, which isn't really noticeable, the 5x zoom, which might or might not even be a benefit, and the more premium construction. Screen sharing over a cable is nice, but not terribly useful, and the battery life is also not so much better that an almost 50% higher price would be justified, even if it's a notable difference. I also think that at this €700 price point, a OnePlus 9 is a much better buy, with a much better camera, an even faster chip, stereo speakers, wireless charging, and many other small improvements. And if you don't need all of those things, then rather go for a Moto Edge 20 and save the money. If you enjoyed this video, you know which buttons to press, and don't forget to press that follow button on Twitter. I'm Brian, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.